Hey, babies, what's up? It's Asada. We love you, my gathering of the Griot viewers. We are here for another Dope Tuesday, rocking with an author that, she high level. She got a lot of things going on. But before we start, I gotta pay homage to the female solution, because if it wasn't for the female solution, we would not even be here. If you don't know what the female solution is, good. Take a look. Take a listen, and then we'll be right back to start our show. Peace out. Don't go nowhere.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
All right, we are ready to roll. I am so excited to bring on my guest today because I'm like looking at her whole repertoire, her books, and I'm like, what kind of person can create all of these things, right? So I feel like I want to bring her on first, and then I'll do the video later, because I just like a vibe. Let's do that first, and then I'll show the video. I'm like, let's show some of her star-studded. I am going to bring to the stage my girl, Shamicka Toney. How are you, beautiful?
Hey, good morning, Asada. How are you?
I'm so good, my darling. I'm happy to have you. I want to make sure I'm hearing you as high as I can, because we don't want no low voices up in here at all. So, Shamicka, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you a native to Chicago? If not, where were you born and raised? Tell me a little bit about you.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we've lived in Chicago for about 20 years now. Native to Chicago, no. So my background is I'm a military brat, and we grew up with my dad was in the army, and we traveled all over. So it was prior to coming here, it was literally when someone would ask me that question, I would just say, well, we'll pick a spot and call it home, because as a military person, you're always in transition. So I was born in Virginia, my roots are in Virginia, and so if I picked a home, it would be Virginia. But I'm here in Chicago, been here 20 years, love it.
Girl, let me tell you, I love Chicago. Look, I'm from New York. You can hear my little dirty apple accent. Love it, I love it. But it's something I was told by an elder here once, that the electromagnetic energy of Lake Michigan pulls people to Chicago for reasons they don't know. Oh, I love that. It makes total sense. There's no reason for me to really be here as well, but we are here and connecting, period, point blank. And so I have so much to ask you. I think my first question really is, well, put it like this. When I saw some of your footage, I was like, she's on the news. What? So I want to show that little clip of you on the news, at least some of it, so that people get an idea. You are not talking to some peon author. She is acknowledged by the news. So let's just take a quick look at that.
Awesome.
I think we can all agree there's nothing like a good romance novel, but what about a Christian romance novel? Somebody may hear that and say, what? It was my first time hearing of that too, but joining us this morning to talk about it is artist and writer Shamicka Toney. Shamicka, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, T. I appreciate it.
So, people may hear romance novel and then Christian romance novel and say, how is that even possible? How did you arrive as a writer to even come up with a book that was a Christian romance novel?
So I have a faith-based background, and I've always been a little bit of a storyteller, like a writer or what have you. And as I was writing, pardon me, I I came up with this idea of these stories and these characters, and I wanted to write imperfect characters because that's who we are as imperfect people. And so as I kept writing it, they just developed, and it turned into a great romantic novel.
I think your novels are something, definitely, because I started reading one of them. I started reading the one and Approaching the Bench is another one that you have. So Discovering the Covering, that's the one I started reading about Amia Copeland.
Yes.
And you have a screenplay too.
Yes.
Is the screenplay for this one that we're seeing right there on the screen, Discovering the Covering?
The screenplay is for Discovering the Covering, and it actually is being written by Nikki Dixon, who is an actress. And so she's writing it. She actually wrote it, and now we're doing edits. But yeah, it's for Discovering the Covering.
So what's your plan for that? Are you planning to make it here in Chicago where it goes to the theaters and then branch out and make this, you know, a national push?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I was writing both of the novels, I saw them on screen. I saw them as movies. And it's interesting. The feedback that I get from readers is they see a whole movie when they're writing it. So yes, absolutely. I see it on the big screen and maybe even having a series going forward.
Well, we hope that that definitely happens, being that you're from the western suburbs.
Absolutely.
I was reading that in COVID, a lot of us, we had nothing to do. We were, you know, in some cases depressed in the house all the time. But you actually took up something that I thought was just really incredible. You started doing artwork.
Yes,
Did you know you had that talent within you?
No, I didn't. I actually used to do interior design, and so I could paint a wall. I knew how to do that. But I started going to paint night events well before COVID, and I got bit by the bug, and I wanted to keep doing it. And then when COVID closed everything down, I thought, well, I still want to paint. So I thought, well, what if I try and teach myself how to paint? And so that's what I did.
I was hoping that we had some of those.
I ain't gonna let her take all my questions. That's what she not gonna do this morning. So that is a clear. Let's get that clear. Now let me put up who you fully are, because she said some things, but man, you got a lot on the table, baby. Look at this: Christian romance, legal thrillers, right? And I was like, what? These must be all these different books, but you found a way to combine these concepts in your book. So tell us about that. Like, which book came first? The Discovering the Covering, Discovering
Discovering the Yep.
Yeah, or come on and tell us the books and which came first and why.
Yeah, absolutely. So Discovering the Covering is the first of the what will be a trilogy. So I've got the first one out and the sequel, Approaching the Bench, and then the trilogy is in the works. But Discovering the Covering came about initially. In 2003, I was in Texas and had this vision of this young woman, and I didn't really do anything about it. I just kind of let it go. And then a couple years later, 2005, I was in Illinois. I was in Illinois, and I had a dream about the main character and her brother. So Amia is the main character, and her brother Jamari is the other main character. And the dream was so vivid. It was as vivid as me talking to you right now. It was that real. And so I woke from that dream with all this information about these two. And as I mentioned in the clip, I've always written. And so I decided let's write some things about this. And I ended up writing it in, weaving in my faith, and turning this into an amazing romance novel. So Discovering the Covering is the first. That's the one that has been written into the screenplay. And then its sequel, Approaching the Bench, was released in 2023.
Okay. The mind is active. We love the mind being active. And man, I mean, we love a good dream. I love dream-inspired creativity.
Yes.
Because to me, that means you're listening to a higher power. And I feel like that's how the higher power sends a lot of the data through our dreamscapes, through that time where you're waking up in the morning. And, the thing is, are you listening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you taking heed to what is being sent to you through the teleportation of the creator, right? And it sounds like you definitely did that. And so you just have so much on the table that you've created. If I look at Discovering the Covering right here, and I do notice in your images a difference in book covers. What's that
Yeah.
about? Because I know how that can be for sure.
Yeah. So the very first cover, I loved it, right? Like I loved it. I actually have the original cover here.
Okay, let me get a close up of that bad boy. Uh huh. Uh
So
huh.
this is the original cover,
Okay.
and I loved it. Like I was just like, oh, it's so warm and cozy. It's beautiful. It's everything.
Yeah.
But one of the pieces of feedback that I would get whenever I would do events is people always thought it was a self-help type book.
Oh,
And I
really?
was like, it's not a self-help book. It's a romance novel.
Yeah.
That didn't immediately translate to to audience. And then when the sequel came out, so oops, hold on, when I released the sequel, Approaching the Bench,
Approaching the bench. Yeah.
and then I would have these two together, people would be like immediately gravitating to this cover. And I would say, oh, this right here, this is the sequel to this one. And it was always like, it looks like a self-help book. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so earlier this year, I did go ahead and make the change and I transitioned to this new cover.
Okay, let's look at that. Nice
Yeah,
and
so
close.
this is the
Mm-hmm.
new cover,
Okay.
which actually has a similar feel
Sure.
to the original. So these two
Sure.
together definitely is more like people are more likely to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
You
grab
can see that. Yeah, you can see the connection
the
because the
connection. Yes.
girl looks like she's in front of a courtroom, walking. She looks like a lawyer, you
Mhm.
know. So, okay, I was curious about that because we have tons. Look, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna show this real quick. The customers didn't mind because, baby, let me look. Wait a minute, because I'm getting ready to get all into it. Your customers literally were buying that book like crazy. It didn't matter, right? To in my eyes, you
Correct.
have a lot of footage of people with the book, that the old cover and the meaning, and what was that inspiration though for the covering of that first the first cover of the book?
Yeah, so I what I wanted was in both of my novels, you won't see their faces because I wanted the reader to imagine what
Yeah.
they look like. And so I wanted to have something up close, something that felt warm and powerful as well, like just
Okay.
this strong woman standing there, but not
Like
unable
you.
to face. Still, thank you. But but unable to see her face. And so that was what inspired the idea for that cover is this woman with this strong story, this strong background, her overcoming and doing her thing.
Well, let me ask this question because why the legal aspect, legal thriller energy? Because I have a author that's in our fold who is a lawyer, so he writes he wrote a legal thriller, so
Yeah.
it's obvious, But why legal thriller and then Christian romance at the same time? Like, what's your background that inspired that?
Gotcha. So in terms of the legal thriller part of it, I have no law background. I work with lawyers quite a bit, but I don't have a legal background per se. But I do love Law and Order SVU. Like
Okay.
I can sit and lose 5 days just watching Law and Order, right? So
I
I've
love it.
always had a love for that, and so that kind of inspired a little bit of the legality part of it because I'm such a fan, especially SVU. I love SVU. So that I leaned on my love of that while I was in while I was writing it. But the Christian romance part, I'm a Christian, so that's my background. I'm very very much a believer, and so one of the things that I wanted to write was, pardon me, a Christian romance novel that wasn't the traditional queen and everything's wonderful and rosy and everyone's perfect. I didn't want to write that. I wanted to write something that had these imperfect people who are in real world situations with a faith weaving through it because in all things faith is there, right? Or your God is there. You just tap into your faith, right? So I wanted to write that. And that is where that was always my compass for writing. Like I wanted honest, real world characters that people can relate to, that people can see themselves in. and then also be a believer, right? Like, as a believer, or I know as a believer, like, life is imperfect, the walk is imperfect, and that's what I wanted to write. And I wanted it to be interesting, and I wanted characters again that everyone knows you can relate to, and you want to go hang out and grab a cup of coffee with.
Got you. You know what's so good about that? I mean, we can see from Tyler Perry's work. You have some Christianity in there, baby. It's so many people that can relate. But I do think it's good to look at stories that mirror real life.
Absolutely.
Everything is not all rosy in the church, in even with people's faith in Christianity. So for you to be able to create characters that they can relate to in that light, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Thank
Just
you.
so happy that you did that. And, it seems that you're dealing with having to find solutions, like some things that are impossible, maybe even secretive, but
Absolutely.
you help find the solutions. Talk a teeny bit about that, because now don't tell us the book, but I want you to go into that a little bit. And mainly if you're watching and what I want y'all to do is see how a person can take what they love and what they've experienced and combine it into a book. So even though I asked you one question, I really want to know before that. I want to know the what made you put it in a book though? You might have liked the legal whatever vibe, and you're a Christian, but what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna write a book about this, or I'm gonna create that? Talk about that a little bit, because I want what we do to inspire others to do the same. I think everybody has a book in them, but yeah, talk about that first.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I had the vision of the characters, right? I had the conversation with them in my dream. And I was always someone who wrote, right? I had a high school teacher who pulled me aside after having me read an excerpt of a book report, and she literally said to me, "You should pursue writing." She was like, "You are very, very good." And so I always wrote a little bit, and I would also do spoken word. So I wrote poetry, and I did that, and I would get on stage and do mic nights and things like that. What made me start the book is that again started writing a little bit, and then there's some trauma from my background that I was in counseling for. I was talking to a therapist about it. And my therapist said at the time, she was like, "Hey, so Shamicka, you like writing. So why don't you write some of what happened?" And she said, whether you ever do anything with it or you burn the pages up, doesn't matter. Writing is cathartic. So as I'm writing this story about Amia and Jamari, I started weaving in aspects of that and kept writing, and ultimately turned it into a book that has definitely been dubbed as undroppable, as life changing, as altering and impactful. And it's one of those things where you grow through what you go through, right? Like,
Mm.
you can take your mess.
You right. Hold on. I need to write that down. Look, you grow through what you go through. Continue.
Yeah, you grow through what you go through, right? Like, that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So it's a great testament, and that we all have our story. Like, we all had that something. And where you said it's not like everyone has a book inside of you. Absolutely. Everyone has lived a life, and everyone has lived different pieces, and you got different experiences, and all of that is worthy of putting on paper.
Man, loving that. We got some comments busting on down already. We got who we got here? Oh, Tyler Toney tapping in from Atlanta. Who that? That's your family?
Tyler is, yep, he is my son. I have three. So I have a
Nice.
27-year-old and two 25-year-olds. And
I
Tyler's
love it. I love it. I love it. Then we got Hello by Lorraine Custis.
hello,
Ooh,
good
I see your
morning.
names up in there. Look at that. We love
Yes.
that the family's tuned in.
Mhm.
Our homegirl Zelda from the Higher Learning Network, Grand Rising, enjoying the show from Indianapolis. Let the
Good
church say amen. Ooh, ooh,
morning.
ah.
Amen.
We love that. Then we got an awesome from DT3198.
Yeah, good
Your
morning.
story already very awesome. And then boop, boop, boop. Sunset represent. Ooh, ooh, yeah, represent. Holla. We love a son. We love a son. I don't have a son, but we love a son.
Yes,
And
indeed.
then we got some tapping in from Charleston.
Hey,
That's of
Tony.
Trayvon Harris. We love it. Look at you. You got a nice little following. So here's the deal. We can talk about the content, the characters. What are your customers saying? The people that are buying this book, because they are so varied. I
Yes.
mean, Lord, you got white girls, black girls, men, women. So what are your customers saying about the stories?
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing that there is such a diversity in the reader, which is amazing. They all say that the book is addicting. It's hard to put it down, and that they love the characters. Like they're like, I want to be friends with the characters. A lot of the ladies say they want to date the main character, Darren. um,
Hercules, Hercules.
yeah, Darren is the guy everybody wants to date. So, but yeah, everyone, the the feedback by and large is great book. Hard to put it down. Love the stories. Love the characters. You know, and one of the things, Asada, is that again, in making this book, I have characters who are really cool, who are really amazing, and then I've got some hot messes in there. Like there are a couple of folks that you might want to go have a conversation outside with. You know what I mean? Like it's a couple of those in there, so it's a little fun.
Well, look, you can't be a black person and not have all that. You can't be black and not have a hot mess up in there somewhere. I
Somewhere,
really,
somewhere.
somewhere, because that's how you get the trauma and the drama and the booty
Mhm.
booty boo. And even though we're sane, but boy, do we have people in our families, people we grew up around that what they bring in the flavor, honey. They
Yeah.
bring in the stuff you got to work through. What you say, grow through what you go through. I can't wait to use that today. Your sister came on. Look at that. Watching from Charleston. That's my sister. Hey, DeWanda. Wonderful. We love that your family is here and supporting, representing.
I
And
love it.
so we got the legal thrillers. Now, check this out. You literally have won some awards. What is that? What we talking about? What we look at this. 2025 International Impact Book Awards winner.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Congratulations. Like
Thank
what?
you.
Come on with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So it's crazy. It was so I reached out. I saw the call for authors and submissions, right? You can submit your book for consideration. And so I was like, well, what if? What if? What if? What if? Right? And so I went ahead and I submitted Discovering the Covering to the International Impact Book Awards team and just kind of forgot about it. And earlier this year, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I wonder what happened with that. And so I reached out and they were like, oh, yeah. So that book won twice, which was really, really cool. And so earlier this year, I got the nod that it's a two-time International Impact Book Award winner.
2 times, fools.
So,
Y'all stop playing now. What if she
yeah.
won twice? That's what you need to know. You look, your sister said, yes, come on, awards. Come on, awards. And that's not even the only one. I saw something else. What's this about? This is the same one, but a different
Yeah,
time, right?
it's the same one, and it's the emblem, which is actually now on the covers of the books. Yeah.
That's right. I saw that. So
Mhm.
we love that. Everything looks so pristine and classy. I don't care which cover. It don't make a difference. They both good. We love all that coloring of the first cover. Good. That's vintage now. See, if somebody got that,
Absolutely.
now it's vintage. So
That
there's that. They better know that. We know how to market that. But yes, indeed, I'm so happy to see, you're excelling. And here's the thing, I am an author, so I know what it takes to kind of get your book here, there, and everywhere. But you have been in stores,
yes.
period. Like for real, for real. We got images of your book on the shelf. People be wanting their book to be on the shelf, but no, her book is really on the shelf. Like, let me show a picture of that. It's like, what? Taking pictures. You can see in the background. How? Because so many authors are like, how did you do? They would love that opportunity. So how did that come about?
Yeah, so I reached out to our Barnes and Noble out here where, near where we live. And I was like, hey, do you do author events? And they said, yeah, let's talk. And so we were talking, and they said, hey, come on in store, do a book signing. And so did a book signing. It went really, really well. And then we started talking some more, and it was like, hey, let's get those books on the shelves here. And so we ended up getting the books on shelves in that one location. And then I went and did another book signing at another Barnes and Noble at another location, and the same thing happened. So at this point, there are books on the shelves in 4 Barnes and Noble here in the Illinois area.
Come on, look, we got some comments up in here. Look, one said, our daughter, yes, Lorraine, we got you, boo, but wait, look, we gonna hire your sister, talking about period. Look, you better put a period with a T at the end, period, with a T.
Yes,
she said,
indeed.
go Barnes and Noble.
My hype girl.
Go Barnes and Noble, that's right.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, so what an inspiration, right? Because people want to do this. I know even to get your books in Barnes and Nobles, you got to go through, you got to be with one of the distributors that they deal with and blah, 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 blah. But I love your entry.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, did you see that? Just go ask.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Really.
Just go ask.
Yeah, my grandma used to say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so, you don't know if you don't ask. So ask,
Just
and
ask.
I will say, Asada, this almost never happened. Like this, us sitting here together, this whole book journey, it almost never happened because when I was writing the book, and then I got to the point of finishing it, like I actually finished it in 2018, and then I got scared, and I let the negativity get in my ear, I let Satan get in my ear, and it was like, girl, you've been wasting your time. Ain't nobody gonna want this book. You're not that good of a writer, the whole thing, like all that negativity. And I sat on it for an entire year, a full year. And during that whole year, I was just like, no, I'll get it. Maybe I'll get it a whole year. Just fear. And 2019, I was like, you know what? What if? What if these characters are good? What if this book is as good as I think it is? Right. And the whole time in that year that I sat on it, like the characters wouldn't let me rest. Like I would keep seeing Amia or hearing Jamari or hearing Darren, like the entire year. So 2019, I was like, okay, you know what? What if? Nice. What if it's good? Nice. And so I went ahead and I sent it out to a couple of publishers, just as, what if? And literally within 48 hours, 72 hours, it was like, hey, so let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. Let's do this. So it's been off from there.
You guys, let me say something to you. You gotta listen to the God voice. You better.
Yes.
Because if you don't, that's your choice doing that. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm a Scientologist, and one of the things we know, once you put it out there, it's called a postulate. It's out there. But then you can create what's called a counter postulate. And that's the one that says, I'm not going to do this book. I might not be able to do it, So whatever you put out, though, is your choice, though. You can make the postulate to have it happen, or you could do the counter postulate. And then when you talk about the mind is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
It's so powerful. But it is the force that determines your trajectory.
Right.
Period. Right? Yeah, and so we got a part of the mind, this is a little Scientology as well, Dianetics, part of the mind that's called the reactive mind. That's actually the part that has all the doubts, the fears, the worries. It goes in full force when you don't get sleep, you go unconscious, and it just keeps rolling. But that spirit and that analytical mind, baby, that we're using right now is the one that has the ideas that you gotta put out there. What?
Yes.
And them voices kept talking to you.
Absolutely.
I love it. And then the key was get up and follow. And I'm so happy you got up and followed. We got some more, another comment that we're gonna go to commercial. Good morning. We are watching Dad. We love your family. I love them. I want to meet everybody. Where are you?
Let's
We
do
love.
it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it because this type of energy, a family that's supportive. Every writer doesn't experience that. You actually get a lot of back. I haven't. Let me say that. Don't get upset, mom and nobody. But the bottom line is, family is like, what are you doing? They could be like, why, or not really feeling it. But to see this type of family support is invaluable. Your
Yeah.
sister said she's been blessed waiting on the follow-ups. Yes, indeed. We love it. So we're going to take a commercial break, you beautiful people. But you have been watching Gathering of the Griots, and we're rocking with my girl, Shamicka Toney. Oh, she's star-studded. I just love it. But anyway, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages. Take a look.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs, but beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good. And it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I got to work, but I can't help it. Everything going to school. Not just about bring my Africans in like this. Bring in the Africans.
I could be so silly. I love watching myself being silly. But as you can see down there at the bottom of the screen, it says coming soon, February 15th. That will be the next Black History Book Fair, baby. And look, I got me some visuals. What you want to see? We got a little visual. Look. You see that? Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, baby. Yep, February 15th. And it's going to be at Little Black Pearl. That's on 47th Street here in Chicago. I love what we do. I love the authors. Our girl that's here today, guess what? Shamicka is going to be there too, big time. And if you're an author and you want to be a part, we actually still have some spaces. I'm going to put the website down there, soulfulchicagobookfair.com, right? And there's an author submission button. That's all you got to do. We vet all the books. We're not going to have no profane books up in the book fair. So just go to soulfulchicagobookfair.com, go to author submission, and put your book in. Lastly, before I bring my girl back, we do take donors for the book fair. And so if you think you want to donate, good, go ahead. It's down there. You got some extra change in Cash App? Good. Go send it to $ Asada Thrives right down there at the bottom. Or if you're more into Zelle, I do Zelle. I don't do Cash App. That's fine too. Just send it to my book's Zelle right now. beatingblackkids@gmail. I know you're like, Beating Black Kids? What is that? No, that's my first book. Don't worry about it. But anyway, that's for the Zelle. So, yep, if you want to donate, vibe, there we got the information. Let's make it happen. But I want to bring back my homie today, my baby Shamicka Toney. How are you, my love?
I'm great, Asada. It's so good to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm loving you, girl. I can't wait to meet you in person, y'all. When I was looking at her pictures, first of all, y'all need to follow what she does. I went to her page on Facebook, and it was a litany of pictures about her book. You could see the life of your books, and that was so wonderful. I didn't have to call you and say, can you send me some pictures? No, there were like so many, and I was so impressed and inspired by your work, and you're just treating it like you're looking like what people want to look like when they're dealing with their books, right? We got another comment on the scene here. Oh, look at this. Oh, 501c3 my org. Can't wait for the Black History Book Fair. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, Bridget. You know that's right. And y'all, just so you know, Shamicka Toney will be there. So you're not only seeing her now, you're going to meet her. And, oh, her stature. I was like, I can't wait to see her because I could tell she's this beautiful, tall Black woman. And I'm such a little, short Black woman. I look forward to us just connecting and just the energy. Look at us in our colors. Show them your shirt, baby girl. Let me move this banner. Show them your shirt right now. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear. Ask me about my book. No, really. Ask me. And we didn't even plan these colors. Let me just let you know. We didn't plan it. We just came on with this energy. So you already know what we're dealing with. So I want to use this second half of the show to get into a whole other realm, because we talked about your legal thrillers, the Christian romance. Now you done went on and made some children's books. Like, what? What? You mean to tell me you covering the whole family? Like, so talk a little bit about that, because you got these babies on the screen. Yay! Jameson. Talk about, when did Jameson come alive? When did you write that? Have the time to even write that?
The funny thing is, Jameson has been buzzing around in my brain for years. He showed up initially when I was writing Discovery in the Cover. So that was back in 2017, 2018, 2019. And I never really did anything because I was devoting time to Discovery in the Covering. And then I started working on the sequel, and Jameson kept coming back to me. And so when I was done with the sequel, I was like, okay, all right, let's pay attention. Let's look and devote time to Jameson. And so Jameson is a remarkable little guy with dreams as big as his wings. And he teaches our little ones that anyone can be a hero. Just be as brave as you are tall. And so I wanted to have a book just because uplifting children and building up children and encouraging them can change the world. So if we can have this amazing little character who is the most unlikely of heroes. He's a fly. Everyone hates flies, right? But he's a lovable guy, and he wants to be a fireman. And so we're following Jameson on his quest to become a fireman, and he's meeting new friends along the way, and he's just demonstrating acts of courage as he goes along.
Let me just say something to y'all real quick. One of the things we love is, I was writing these books and Jameson just kept buzzing around. What?
Yeah.
We love that, because this is how life is, y'all. The creative energies are in you. I think God is sending a message. Do it now. And you really got to pay attention. Look, your girl, me and your sister gonna go out. She said, okay, look. And she said, come on, Jameson. Come on, Jameson. Let's get that rolling. Me and you gonna go on tour, DeWanda. Let's go, baby girl, because you the good cheerleader. So now you just have so much life with Jameson. I'm gonna show these pictures, and look, Jameson's on the shelf. Jameson's on the shelf. Now, is this on its own accord, or did, like, at the same time that you put the legal thrillers in the store, you said, wait a minute, I got some children's books too? Or was this just they said, bring all your books? How did this occur?
So when I first, let me think about this, make sure I got my timelines right.
I know how that is.
When I first went to Barnes and Noble, Jameson wasn't out yet.
Okay.
So it was just the two romance, the legal thrillers. And later, when Jameson came out, I reached out and I said, hey, I've got a new kids adventure. I would love to do a book signing, and let's talk about having Jameson in store as well. And so, of course, Barnes and Noble is so accommodating. And we just have such a great relationship that they were like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, we've had story times.
Did y'all hear that? This is the first time I ever heard that. Barnes and Nobles is so accommodating. Yes, honey. Y'all better shift that reality. Talking about, I can't get into stores. Maybe your stuff ain't good enough to get in the store. I'm just saying, just work on it. But I love that narrative. No, what? Just I got more books, and they said bring it. Now look at you. Look at my girl. My girl said, this is the one that said, let's go. Laugh out loud. My goddaughter, my granddaughter loves Jameson and loves her aunt reading it. That's right. You know we got that. You know we got some of that because look how she got the store laid out, y'all. Yeah. Ready for the story time. Got the books on the chair. And look, I mean, this just is so professional. I love that you went this route. Look at her here, y'all. Reading the stories as her sister says she reads it to her granddaughter. Look at the kids, all attentive, baby. And what I love about this is that this is what people usually see maybe farther in their career with their book. But your books haven't even been out hardly, you know what I'm saying? Like it's relatively short and you're already in the stores. Look at the customers, y'all. I told you, look, one man said, I need the adult novel. And the one said, I'm going to get me some Jameson. And you are standing there. I love seeing this backdrop of the bookstore. It's almost like this is where you dwell in the bookstore. And so what does that feel like for you?
It is a blessing. Like as you're showing that, I'm like, I'm tearing up. Like it's crazy to think that this idea that comes into your head, like that it can morph into what it is. Like how it's you know, it's such a blessing. Like God is so good. Because literally it's like, hey Shamicka, there's this idea, here's this Jameson, this guy, and there's these Amia and Shamari and Darren and all these characters who've been floating around in my head that people know and love. And people are resonating with it and they're in stores. Like I remember the first time I left my Barnes and Noble event, the first time I had the book signing and the books were on shelf before, like I did a Facebook post on it and I'm like in tears, like, is this really happening? It's amazing. And that's probably not the right word for it, but it's just an unbelievable journey that we're on here. And I'm just grateful and blessed.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something you don't know. You see what she doing, right? I told her before we started, I said, do you have water? She said, yes. I said, do you have tissue? She said, no. I said, because I might make you cry.
She did. Absolutely did.
Look. I love it. It's for real, right? I mean, look, I be sitting here talking about, ooh, people be making me cry. Be like, yes. But y'all, for real. Yeah. Because the journey, we just live in a journey. But when you step back and look, like I said, look at them excuse my friend, look at them images. No, for real. These are people, and they are people of all races, of all ages. You read into the children. Look at this. Look at the inside of the book, boo-boo. We love Jameson wanting to be a fly, being a fireman. What you talking about? Right. Can you pick up that hose? I mean, you know, it automatically takes you into this world of interest, and I love it so much. Look at the little booby. Mama, poppy, boo-boo. Mommy's baby. Got the book of Mama's booby. Look at that. That's right. So I love it. Now, you live in a suburb, so you see, of course, people of the Caucasian persuasion. But look at this scene. You had a whole class rocking with you. Your book is on the screen there. Talk about that a little bit. What was going on there? I was like, how she get a book on the screen? What was that about? So yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so I go into elementary schools or any kind of child environment, and I do story times. And so this was an elementary school that I did. I believe this might have been last year that let me see. Yeah, this was last. So I go into different schools around the nation. So I'll do in-person or virtual. And this was a virtual experience because this was down in North Carolina, this classroom was. And so, yeah, so elementary schools would reach out to me, people as, people who are educators and things like that. And so sometimes as friends, I'll say, hey, we can do a story time, or they'll reach out to me and say, hey, Shamicka, we would love for you to do a story time. And so I've done these story time events nationwide, and that's one of the classes.
Look at these comments. Look at these comments. Look at Mama say, more than proud of you, daughter. Hallelujah. Thank you, Mama. We love you. That's right. And then my cheerleader, my homie, DeWanda said, definitely a surreal walking in there and seeing my sister's work. Like, girl, she did that. I am so proud of her. Hercules. She be like, that's my sister. What is you talking about? You know, I can say I know her too now. Y'all stop playing. I'm in the family too. I don't care how short I am. I'm in the family. So, you know, you have so much to you. Look at that. The thrillers, the children's book, right? But y'all heard it in the video earlier. The child is also a doggone artist. Look at this. What is happening here? Like, you know, some people complain about not having time and this and that. You find the time to paint. Also, what is going on here? We see that the majority of the paintings are of women. Yeah, so what is this? Is this a ode to who you are? Is this a looking at, because this is balance to me. Sometimes we don't want to say how we feel about sisters, whether they be pretty, this, that, or whatever. But I love your expressions of women. But who are these women we see you painting?
Yeah, so they're literally everyone. I love all of God's creatures, but women we are just amazing and beautiful, and we are all these different things. I just love women. And so I love us, and I love like the power that we have. And so I've been painting, like I said, I did a lot of paint nights. And prior to my teaching myself how to paint, I would go to paint night and I couldn't do anything beyond the instructor saying, take these colors, mix them together, take this brush, do this, and do that, right? Like I had no real ability to paint. And after COVID shut everything down, I still wanted to paint. And so it was, hey, what if? And I keep saying what if because I have a firm belief in the power of what if. Like very strong. I do a lot of public speaking, and one of my resonating messages is what if? Like what if the what ifs made all the difference? And so I keep going back to what if because I'm a firm believer in that. But taught myself how to paint, and and I love us. I love women. And I've got just paintings all over the place. And it was interesting because after I started like painting and I would post them on Facebook, invariably there would be someone that said, hey, is that for sale? And initially I thought they were just being nice. Like I just thought, y'all are just being nice to me or whatever, but it kept happening. And so what I ended up doing was putting an online gallery and like putting it on my website, right? And ended up selling paintings, which is crazy when you think about it, because like what? But yeah, so we've got paintings all over the country, in hallways and on walls and in offices. It's crazy.
First of all, give us a panorama of your background, please. Let's do a little pan of your own art. Her art is on her own wall. Boopity boop bop boopity boop. That's my music for it. Boopity boop bop boopity boop. A art gallery in her house. That's cold, baby. That is beautiful. Look at that. Oh my God. Do you have a Shamicka Toney piece? Like what? Now what? I got two websites, so I want you to tell me which one is the one for the paintings, and then I'm gonna put the other one up as well. Which one is the one that has the art gallery?
So you'll find the art gallery at shamickatoney.com.
All right.
And that's where you'll find books as well as the available pieces of art.
There we go. So y'all see that at the bottom, shamickatoney.com. Don't get it twisted, okay? You can get the books and the art. You need to get you a piece of art. I got beautiful, you see all these colors in the background, but I got space for art. Let's go, right? But man, so we got this aspect of you, the art, the books, and you're a public speaker.
Yes.
You are a public speaker. Y'all sleeping, don't Y'all thought it ended there. You thought she just put out products, and then look how the world is receiving your products and receiving your creativity. I think that's wonderful. But y'all look at my girl here. Boom! Public speaking. Tell us a little bit about this, because this is not small to me. You're not speaking. Look at that first picture. You're not speaking at the corner store. That is a big symposium of an event. Talk a little. Is that the Black Women's Expo? What is that?
That is the ultimate women's expo. That was in Chicago, and then there was also one in Atlanta, and I was on stage there as well.
Wow, look at that. Major cities. Now, if people want to book you for speaking, that's your other website, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So
Let's go to
Stony,
that. That's
StonyBooks.com.
stonybooks.com.
StonyBooks.com. So you can
Okay.
go to that site, and then actually the ShamickaToney.com as well. There's a comment. You can just send me a message there. But
Yeah.
yes, StonyBooks.com has the more of the speaking side of it. It's got books on there, but really, like, my goal is just to tell people who I am as a
Yeah.
speaker and get myself out there. And I think I have a relatable message in terms of my story, and I know that I have the ability to impact audiences and just uplift us, like uplift. And I've been doing speaking to young people as well as to adults, and in my professional world, I'm a corporate trainer. So I do a lot of training and speaking and engaging with audiences, and it's just something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm excited to be adding that to my work.
Mm, she has a repertoire to offer. Let that be known. Now, let me say this, because I we can tell sort of the what you're made up of. But when you do speak, what can I expect? Like, what you say, your story.
Yeah.
It could be a litany of things, right? That's my favorite word today, litany. But yeah, what do you talk about when you? If I want to book you,
Mhm.
what will you come say to my group
Yeah, I'm
to take them to the
absolutely.
next level?
Yeah, thank you. I'm absolutely going to talk about the power of what if and betting on yourselves. I'm absolutely going to challenge you to tap into that inner spirit that drives you forward. Everyone has it. A lot of us are afraid to do it because you're afraid of all the bad things that can happen and all the potential failures. But the other side, there's success. And I like to teach people that everything you're looking for is on the other side of fear. So go for it, right? I saw a shirt. I saw a shirt, and I think it was affiliated with wrestling, but it said, "I never lose, I just learn." And I love that quote because it's so true. Like, even if you take a loss, you learned. So you're going to take that and you're going to build that into your next attempt. And so you can't lose if you keep going.
Let me say something to y'all. I'm over here with my pen. Y'all playing with me. Look at it. The child saying things. I'm like, ooh, hold on. She said everything you're looking for is on the other side of you.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. Then she gonna say this about Jameson. She gonna say he has dreams as big as his wings. Ooh, the girl cold. I ain't even have to hire her. Look, I'm getting the public speaking on the fly on the low on this side. Look, you got some comments. Mommy said, I have a piece of her art on my wall. I know that's right. I would too, baby. Don't get it twisted. Look what Dad said. He said, yes, she has had Mom and I in some of her paint classes. But I changed my voice to try to sound like that. Yes, she has had had Mom and I in some of her paint classes, but had no idea this would take off like this. Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad. That's right. Hercules, proud parents. Hey, parents, kudos to you, because I'm into people becoming who they are, but you cannot negate that they came through somebody.
Right.
And they came through people that were influential, probably in ways that don't get articulated. But kudos to you, parents. You hear me? Because the girl fly. You created a fly girl. Yeah, we love her. And then what to say here? Love it. Great stuff. You already know we dealing with the flyness up in here, just so y'all know.
That's good.
Now, it's amazing that we only got like 4 more minutes to the show, maybe 2 more minutes or something like that. But what I want to say, man, it's just so much to you. You have so much to offer, so many people. And I'm happy that you're taking the charge to get out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think you could run on this concept only. To do that public speaking, just call What If. Boy, boy, oh boy, you ain't got to talk about nothing else. Nothing else. And you can shape that bad boy for your whole career. That's it. Oh, What If is just, it's scrumptious.
It is.
What If is awesome. Like that is, girl, wait a minute, hold up. I can't. Girl, I am just too done with the fabulousness. Your sister, come on, big sis. She giving you the claps, big sis. You understand? Yeah, that concept of what if is riveting in its simplicity. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Because that means people are going to come see that and their minds are going to be all over the place with their own life.
Right. And
then they're going to come to see you compartmentalize that bad boy for them and help them know how to make it happen. Like your whole life and everything you've shown here is the bomb. I just said, and you said it so lightly. You was like, I was just like, what if? Oh, look, I can't take the excellence that's getting ready to come down the pipe even more. But yeah, I think this whole concept of what if is astounding.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, that might even be your motivational book coming. They thought the first thing was motivational. Look, that's the creator trying to say, make a motivational book.
Yeah.
But I think you have a motivational book called What If. No question about it. No question about it. And it is going to be hot. Barnes and Noble's going to be lined up. Get it, baby. And everything. So we got like 2 more minutes. I want you to leave us with some words of wisdom. Tell the people what you want.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. I know I might have made them words up, but
thank you, Asada. I would just say to leave a piece of it, or just to leave a little piece of wisdom. There is power within. You are stronger than you think you are. Those dreams that you have, they're not crazy. Somebody's doing it. Somebody's achieving. Why not you? Live with no regrets, right? Like, so that you're not, one of the things, I have a son who's on, Tyler, who wants to be an actor. And I go for it. Because what we're not going to do is wake up one day at 60 and wonder what would have happened if. So again, what if? I would say go for your dreams. Bet on yourself, believe in yourself, tap on some people who are in that field or in that thing that you want to do, because somebody is doing it. And they know someone who knows someone who knows someone. And so go for it. Go for it. You're not going to lose. You're just going to learn.
You're not gonna lose. You're just gonna learn. You're not gonna lose. You're just gonna learn. I'm doing the song to soundtrack.
Love it.
Hey, Tyler, check this out. I'm not putting no pressure on your mother, but hey, I heard her in that interview say she had a movie. I heard that. So I don't know, but she need to put you right on in there. So get your chops up, because I don't want her to be like, oh my God, he can't act. But I believe you could act. But look at her, I could tell. So definitely, I see wonderment. My girl, DeWanda, said this. She says, love this interview. Amazing job. Questions were on point and encouraging. Thank you, DeWanda. Look, hey, work it. So, look, it's easy when the person's fly is real easy. I can't believe the time is up, but I want to say thank you to you so much, Shamicka. You have really brought such energy today. Mama said this. Great interview. Love this. Yes, honey. And if you are seeing it now, it's going to be on her page on Facebook. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. People will be able to do the replay. You were awesome, Mama.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you so much. And I would like just to say thank you to my family, thank you to my kids, thank you to my husband. Like he's definitely been in the background, allowing me to do my thing, and so the support has been amazing. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, hubby, we love you too, hubby. We love you. Thank you so much, Ma. And everybody, tune in next Tuesday when we will be back with more gathering of the Griots, a big time. And again, you're going to see Shamicka live at the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, February 15th, right here in Chicago at Little Black Pearl. Take care, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.